Hello people who play Minecraft. Today I am playing 50 hours of survival with two friends. We made this forever world and we're just goofing around, dying a lot, building some cool farms with absolutely no guides. So if you enjoy seeing the standard Minecraft experience, drink 500 millimeters of water and watch the video until the very end. No, but actually watch it, I love money. Hour 1 in the beginning was just me and Rafael, Rafa for short. We decided to make it base in spawn since it had good space, and we could eventually make a cozy house inside this hill. I know, a really original idea. We made the entrance a 3x3, planning to eventually make a 3x3 piston door. Too ambitious considering I thought about that with a wooden pickaxe. Rafa made a little entrance, and then I came. I placed some torches in the surrounding area, slaughtered a few birds, made a smoker with some cobblestone, I made a coral, and before expanding further, Rafa and I went to a nearby pillager outpost to loot, killed sheep along the way, and we finally got to it. The loot was absolute trash, but we proceeded with the exploration. It proved to be worth it since we found a village. After our stealing duty, my ambition was suddenly interrupted because Rafa wanted to play high-pixel party games. A few minutes after getting humiliated on Hypixel, I came back. I stole a few cauldrons from the village and was making my way back to the house. My friends were offline, so I upgraded our HQ, made some chests, expanded, and made a few furnaces. I took some chicken to the coral and slept. Hour 2, the other friend entered the server. Sir Barbosa. Let's call him Victor for the sake of viewers' retention and understanding. I was describing the little to no progress Rafa and I made, so he could catch up to it. I got him full copper and we decided to enter this cave. We found this abandoned mineshaft and a good amount of iron. I got some dripstone to make a small lava farm with the cauldrons I obtained. We started to melt the iron ores, upgraded our pickaxes, and mined more to the point we naturally got that good old and blue lapis lazuli. And diamonds too. I was getting low on food, and Victor got sniped by a skeleton. Happily, I saw his name tag seconds before the assassination, so I was able to determine his location, get his items back, and get the hell out of this place. I got way more diamonds on the way back, and after a long struggle, I got my way back home. Our unhealthy diet of air blocks and rotten meat would eventually catch up to us, so agriculture became necessary. Expanded the coral to secure future food production, and I got some pumpkins. Hour 3, I was collecting more dirt to expand the coral, fed the chickens, grabbed lava from a nearby pool, and made an awful looking lava farm. I crafted a leash, collected pumpkins, and relocated some cows against their will. I wanted to spread false propaganda about our base to the neighboring village. To simplify things, I stole all their food supply and kidnapped their strongest villages using boats and a leash. After a long time, I got them to the area and caged them for the time being. Hour 4, I made a diamond pickaxe, a 2x2 lava pool, and obsidian. Because I was too lazy to search for it underground, I broke it and made an enchantment table. I made a diamond shovel and enchanted some tools. I started some terraforming to work on the villager breeder. I expanded my wheat farm, made more terraforming, and planted pumpkins. I started working on a cobblestone wall for the breeder and on the mechanics behind it. I tried to make it look symmetrical and pretty. This was a pretty bad idea. I planted carrots to encourage reproduction and worked on the water canal where the offspring will fall and eventually become a healthy worker for our nation through a working rail system. The design is very human. Hour 5, I needed more building blocks for the breeder. I crafted a hopper and made this contemporary art of a cobblestone farm. This is so ugly it actually became beautiful at some point. I slaughtered spiders to be able to craft dispensers. They will be necessary for our rail system, and I got to it. I planted more carrots and was figuring out how the hell minecarts even work. After way too long, this is what I had. To finish it off, I got killed by pillagers, but thankfully we are playing on survival because I'm so bad the game is hard to score. Hour 6, I worked around the spawn. Victor was mining. Rafa was exploring the surface when he found a village. Rafa sent me a screenshot and my game crashed. I used wheat to escort cows and sheep to our corral, but my game crashed again and it rolled back, so I had to escort the animals again. I wanted to finish the villager breeder, so Victor helped me fix the rail system. Hour 7, I cut the sheep, fed the chickens, fed the cows, and crafted beds, so villagers could initiate their odd breeding ritual with no limitations. When the night came, I decided to fight some mobs to get a few drops, but Victor got demolished by a creeper. I said I would help him get his items back. We walked a lot, and Rafa died from a skeleton while mining diamonds. I saw an azalea tree. I took a screenshot of it. We walked even more. Victor actually got his items back. I saw a treasure map and had the idea to loot it. This was totally stupid. Rafa rage quit because he was not able to find his items back, so he basically never played again. Victor and I spent forever following the map. We dug around for several minutes and he accidentally got inside a big cave. He gave up on the treasure and just went for many diamonds. I, on the other hand, searched for a long time and found a chest with awfully bad loot. I decided to mine diamonds with Victor instead. I dug down until I eventually found him. He allegedly got more than one stack of diamonds. Not gonna lie, this cave was stacked. I got some diamonds too. But bad things happen to good people. On our way back, we found Fallen, Counter-Strike 2 professional player. Hour 8, I knew the only way to get us back on track was by doing some farms, starting with the villager breeder. I was farming some cobblestone to finish the roof of the villager breeder. I slaughtered a few mobs to get their loot. I made a few stone brick slabs and a lot of oak slabs to finally finish a simple roof. I finally moved the 2 villages I got to their eternal home. Just to make sure, I went to the village next to the base to get one more dedicated person. Eventually, they produced a new worker. Hour 9, with the number of workers increasing exponentially, I was working on an iron farm. I always do this design, which is attributed to Vola, if I remember correctly. This is my go-to design when I'm playing survival with friends. It was kind of troublesome to move the villages around, but the job was done. But I noticed that no iron golems were spawning. I tried to kill myself thinking the zombie was targeting me. I thought the villages were not targeting the bats as theirs. I accidentally turned villages into zombies. I had to transform more. It was hell, okay? Hour 10, I discovered that was an easy fix actually. I just needed to kill one of the zombies from the boat. Apparently, 2 zombies break the farm. The farm started working immediately. The iron golems get in the sauna and they pay for the service with their limbs. I had no iron to make hoppers, so I had to collect them manually after the golems got killed. That's when a zombie pushed me to the lava. I guess that is karma, but I recovered my items. And with some iron, I made a decent collection system and we got the farm done. I crafted full iron armor, I did some terraforming and started working on a villager trading hall. I still have no idea on what villages to prioritize, so I started with Fletchers. Hour 11, to progress further, I decided to illegally chop trees nearby to get money. It was profitable, but definitely tiresome, moving workers around and destroying the environment. I also made some weaponsmiths because I learned they can get a trade of iron to emeralds. I got an iron farm, so that was a win in my book. Hour 12, after a long time chopping trees and trading, was finally able to purchase diamond tools and use them to get more emeralds. I expanded the trading hall to get even more powerful. That good old grinding Minecraft that everybody loves to watch. Hour 13, I don't know how, but a zombie made a feast out of some Fletchers I had. I had to use lava buckets to control the population and manage workers. I spent a long time chopping trees, turning them to sticks and getting profit. I was getting a little tired, so I had to do something different to occupy my mind. So I broke some dirt blocks. Hour 14, I was still hungry for emeralds, so I tried to work on a tripwire hook duper because that's the last thing I tried to do on an SMP. They apparently patched it. I tried another design, but I can't dupe them in this version. I had enough with the duper gurus on the internet, so I got back to work. I noticed many villages goofing around, so I gave them a place to live, in the nether. Apparently karma got me again because an enemy soloed me with a shield and full iron armor. Hour 15, while I was working around the base, Victor explored the map and found bamboo. He wanted to make a bamboo farm to get scaffolding later on, which will be pretty useful for big projects we take. I wanted it to be useful too, so I decided to make an automatic carrot farm, while Victor was collecting the ingredients for his farm. I used the ugly cobblestone generator to make stone brick walls for the carrot farm. Victor was getting tortured trying to get an observer to face the right direction, and I was getting completely rage-baited by the villagers. When Victor finished the bamboo farm, he quit the game, and I thought the carrot farm was broken or something. Silly me, the farm is just slow, but I actually did it, and Victor's farm was excellent. Hour 16, I decided to make an automatic cobblestone generator, because it is really useful. I followed Big Booty 17's reliable design. I started collecting the materials, placing them in this chest, and after carefully following Big Booty 17, I finished. The farm was working and I was satisfied. Hour 17, Victor and I figured out our key to success was close to our home. Next to spawn, there was a pillager outpost. Due to big nerfs around raid farms, you always need to drink Coca-Cola to start a raid. So we put our time and effort into demolishing that tower, trying to flatten that area. Victor was following this design that puts a snow golem inside this compartment. The idea is to aggro the pillagers with the golem and they fall for their death, getting us the loot. The scaffolding proved to be essential, since we need to be in this optimal AFK spot to get our coke. Hour 18, now with a full supply of Coca-Cola, I started collecting resources to make a proper raid farm, a renewable way to get emeralds, discounts, and OP loot. I made a false advertisement to this poor villager. I said he would get a good job in this distant oil rig. I mean, he's still got a job. I followed a simple design from basic redstone. It's compact and incredibly cheap. Most importantly, does the job pretty well. After moving the villager to his eternal bedroom, I drank a cold and fresh coke to test the raid farm for some time, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Hour 19, with enough cola, I kept farming the raid farm to get a lot of resources. After some time, I got a loaded boat and returned home. Stored a lot of resources, planted sugarcane, crafted paper, killed cows, made some books, and lectern, expanding the trading hall with librarians, because they are OP. I lacked some traits, like Silk Touch. I may have bought a lot of them, but at this point I was trading a lot of stuff, getting a lot of emeralds and items. Hour 20, disaster struck. I was happy to inform Victor about the raid farm, so he went there to farm emeralds. I was still expanding the trading hall when he said, "I f***ed up." I didn't take it seriously at first, but I became concerned when I saw him dying 2 times. Ladies and gentlemen, let me demonstrate why we don't play hardcore. I didn't know Vexes were built like that, so it kind of had an infestation problem. In desperation, I threw a bucket of lava in the killing chamber of the farm. I died, but it worked out. Hour 21, we were doing everything in our power to make some villages trade diamond armor. We got 2 armorers maxed out. And finally, we both got full diamond armor. I know some people think we might be over preparing for the nether, but believe me, we are stupid buffoons, I assure you. I made a full enchantment setup, and we both decided to get full enchanted armor and gear. To do so, I grabbed some Coca-Cola and returned to the raid farm. Hour 22, to make sure I had enough XP for my gear, I stayed a long time on the raid farm. When I was out of coke, I just walked to the pillager outpost and went AFK. Here's me using free can to showcase the farm. Basically, the snow golem spits on a pillager, and all of them get angry and tries to kill him, but instead falls on a trapdoor with soaking fire. The hopper collects the loot and stores it on a double chest. For the next few hours, I was just chugging Diet Coke. I just went full AFK on this farm to make sure I would be loaded. That was it. Hour 26, after feeling confident about my gear, I just wanted to make a good pickaxe. But good lord, the Minecraft enchantment system is trash. I spent 30 levels to only get Silk Touch. Thank you, Mojang Studio. Anyway, and after enough grinding, we finally had everything we needed for the nether. Hour 27, before entering the portal, Victor showed me this emote he got. Not gonna lie, that is kind of aura. We entered the nether, but my PC kind of crashed. It unfroze, but of course we got the best biome in the game. Basalt Delta. Yes, I love this biome. Yes, I have to emphasize my love. We got out of there, goofing around, trying to find the fortress ASAP. Killing Enderman to get pearls. Was cautious because I was using my $4 budget mouse. When I was collecting quartz, I got a heart attack. This gas spawned, kissed my shoulder, and I freaked out. Like, I had 4 totems in my hotbar, yes. Full diamond armor, yes. Could I die in the shittiest way possible? Yes. After getting this music disc and breathing, we kept walking. So we were walking around until I found this bastion. Surprisingly, we didn't die. We overprepared to a point we got like power 5 and infinity bows. Still, I got into this fantastic situation. A piglin brute, a mob that hits like a truck, attacked me, surrounded by like 10 pigmen. Thank goodness I remained cool there, otherwise I would scrap this video at this moment. Trust me, I did something like this before. After exploring that pool bastion, we shifted our attention to trying to find nether debris, because we thought it would be easier than a fortress. We were not finding any, so we went up and a fortress. After getting there, we got the usual nether wart, blaze rods, and kept farming. We found a blaze spawn and we made a portal nearby. We were tired, it was late at night, so I said, let's just see where this portal goes. A trial chamber. I mean, I don't even know if we are lucky or unlucky at this point. Hour 28, Victor killed some blazes. It is important to mention he had looting 3, so he was stacked. I didn't know before, but looting 3 is overpowered. After some blaze rods, we mined our way up and tried to find this stronghold. It definitely took a long time because we are clowns in this game. The worst part is that we took around 20 minutes inside the stronghold trying to find the portal, but after goofing around for so long, I decided to use some brain cells and follow the lava flow sound I was hearing, and finally reached the end. If you think I was too cowardly in the nether, it is because you didn't hear me at this moment. For context, I'd never actually beaten vanilla Minecraft before. The last time I remember killing the Ender Dragon, I used a mod with a fully reloaded shotgun that did 50 damage and had the range of a Barrett 50 cal. So yeah, I have no real experience in this fight. Thankfully, the Ender Dragon was not nearly as scary. And after the last shot, my game froze for a few seconds and the dragon was killed. So thank you for watching and see you guys in the next video.
Psych!
Hour 29, we grabbed the dragon egg and went for the ant cities, trying to find the good old elytras. We walked a lot, but after a long time, we found the ant cities, getting a grand total of 3 elytras. And Victor got a bunch of sugar boxes with his looting 3 sword. We were stacked, but still afraid. Hour 30, now with the items we needed, we were running back to our home sweet home. We found our way back home, and there are the credits nobody actually reads. Now with elytras and sugar boxes, the sky's the limit, but we had to sleep in real life, so... Hour 31, I decided to work on a bone meal farm. I decided to flatten this place for the new contraption, storing dirt and unused resources into sugar boxes. I took some fresh cobblestone and made smooth stones, and I was gathering some materials to make the new farm. I followed the Zebulus 622 design. It is quite simple, cheap, and effective for the time being. Hour 32, I was finishing my job, but when I came to test the bone meal farm, it was not working. After checking every inch of the farm with FreeCam, I noticed I just had to add 1 delay to this redstone repeater, and the farm started to work as intended. Now we have another issue because we can't have peace apparently. When I was debugging the bone meal farm, Victor was making an enderman farm. They tend to be quite easy to make, but let's say we are built differently. Victor died to an enderman. He recovered some items, not his elytra though. Happily, we managed to grab 3 elytras on the first expedition. The idea was to give 1 to Raphael, but he was nowhere to be found. So might as well Victor use it, though the problem was that he was not getting an endermite to spawn in the center. When he got it to spawn and position it to a minecart, I decided to use a name tag just to make sure it wouldn't despawn. I returned home, took a name tag and gave it to him, but the devil would not appear. Finally, Victor got an endermite. He stepped on this block cap he made and he screamed his lungs out, which was pretty funny. The enemy farm was finally working, and we also got a bone meal farm ready to go. Hour 33, since Victor got killed, I farmed some emeralds to make him a fresh new set of armor. I purchased everything from villages, from the armor pieces to the enchanted books. I crafted an armor stand and placed the pieces inside our base. He got his armor back and I started to work on a sugarcane farm. I did a little bit of terraforming. I copy-pasted the design Victor used for the bamboo farm because they are fundamentally the same thing. On 34, I learned I could buy glass from some librarians, which made the sugarcane farm easier to make. Glass is not needed to make the farm work, but it definitely makes it look nice. I made a crapload of observers, bought more glass, and tried to imitate my friend's flow. I literally had the same problem as him, trying to make the observer face the right direction. And now we have a sugarcane farm. I noticed the bone meal farm was producing barely any bone meal. I figured the problem was that the majority of organics were being stored in this chest. According to Zebulus 622, the creator of the design, it is a way to separately store some moss whenever you need it. I personally couldn't care less about moss right now, so I just made everything turn into bone meal instead. Then it started running the way I wanted. Next thing on my list was a super smelter. I followed a video from Mystic Cat to make it, but to finish the hour, I just had the time to make the hopper line. Hour 35, fun fact, my world was online with the Essential mod since I had invited Victor to play before. He logged off, but I left my character AFK on the surface. Was not recording at this moment. I was doing the classic number 2, aka defecating, when I came back to my bedroom with a towel. My heart shivered with a great death scream. When I logged back to the world though, I was mentally prepared to gear up again and get another Elytra. I even sent Victor a message like, I'm done with this game. I don't know how, but I saw my items on the coast, close to the base. Ladies and gentlemen, I repeat, that's why I don't play hardcore. After that intelligence display, I finished the super smelter, placing blocks, rails, and the minecarts. I made a test drive and it was ready to work. I'm using FreeCAN to just showcase our little progress so far. Hour 36, we had this clear idea in our minds to make a blaze farm. Blazes are useful for potions and even fuel, though we also had this idea to make an easy access to this farm through the nether roof. I was too lazy to figure out a way to break bedrock, so instead we relied on a rudimentary method, walking around through the nether, find the fortress, make a portal, go to the other world, save the cords and return home. There, we were preparing a lot of shulker boxes to make the farm. Hour 37, I got the materials and went to the portal we just made. I killed some magma cubes to prepare fire-resistant potions. You know, without them, blazes can be deadly annoying. Let me tell you, this was not my proudest work of a farm. It works, but it is trash. Hour 38, Victor logged again, but this time I made his life hell. Sorry about that, man. We figured out this exact fortress had like 3 blaze spawners inside. I don't know how, but sadly, they were too distant from one another to make a good farm. And still, I insisted we should try to make something out of it. I learned a lot of mechanics with this video here from Digital Chaos 119. What's up with the numbers, man? I try to make this place our nether hub. A place to have a proper storage for nether blocks, items and all. Hour 39, Victor and I were trying our very best to make the place look nicer and useful. And by actually using a few tricks I learned from Digital Chaos, the farm was looking promising. I said something along the lines of, let's go back to the base and get more items. That's when the disaster occurred. You see, Victor gave me some rockets, I equipped my Elytra, got my shulker box, and we were getting to our hometown. And as you can see, my screen got black. It is not edited. My game crashed. The server hold back and well, where is my goddamn Elytra? Not only that, but we also lost like 2 shulker boxes full of items. Not gonna lie, I was considering cheating an Elytra at this point, but though it was something unfair, shit happens and sometimes we need to get through it. We just swam all the way back and logged off to actually save the game. Hour 40, even though I was angry, and rightfully so, I decided to make some use out of the trash blaze farm. To do so, I expanded the village trading hall, trying to get the looting tree enchanted book, so I could get a good amount of blaze rods in the least amount of time. Since I had to wait more time for the villagers to do their illusion breeding ritual, I worked on a simple lava farm. Just block, dripstone, cauldron, lava on top, nothing crazy. That's when I noticed that the villagers breeding ritual was not going well because they were planting wheat behind my back. I call this blasphemy. You only plant and consume carrots. Hour 41, we spent a few minutes expanding the trading hall, reciting trades, and I finally got my hands on the looting tree villager. I basically spent the rest of the hour doing the same thing, but with Unbreaking 3. It was quite uneventful. Hour 42, this time was different. We embarked on a journey of doing the exact same thing, but at the very least, we got most of the useful traits we'll ever need in this world. For the next project, in my mind, I wanted a mob trap. More specifically, this design from Nembom. For those who don't know, he is Michael Jordan 23 of Minecraft. Our base was overpopulated with villages, so it was no surprise when this random cleric became a zombie. But we decided to keep him alive for later. With my looting tree juicy blade, I activated the blaze farm and began my extermination.
This man's bloodlust was none other than Lolor's big ugly boy. So Lolor's is just stomping on this, trying to make his way to save El Donut. But
from hours 43 to 44, this guy you hear in the background is CJ the Champ. Just so you know, I was watching Chewzone react to CJ the Champ video while listening to Victor Counter-Strike Combs, my mom talking about my brother, all of that when I was forming blazes. This is the fastest way you can deep fry your brain. Please kids, don't do this to yourself. I was just keeping myself entertained for 2 whole hours killing blazes, just so you can enjoy the satisfying montage of me filling this shulker box. Hour 45, I returned back home with the loot and started to use all of our infrastructure. I used our cobblestone generator, the lava farm as fuel, and the smelter to turn everything to smooth stone, because I needed a lot of them to make our glorious mob trap. It can be any block, but smooth stones are nice to look at and they are easy to count. Hour 46, I didn't know better at the time, but I was terraforming an area close by. That's when Victor said, "Hey, I got a gift for you," and he got me an elytra. God bless you, my brother, because if I depended on me, I would probably never get one again. Building the mob trap was easy actually. I had built this before on a creative test world to understand how it worked. Believe me, that was a good call, considering I still have a $4 mouse. The slow part was precisely placing the blocks. If I show some of the footage, it feels like I'm trying to clip farm. I'm not, I'm really trying. That's making it worse. Hour 47, it was just me slowly placing blocks. I wish it was something else. Hour 48, I was almost finished on the farm. I just had to make more slabs to complete the roof, and after determining a good AFK spot, the farm was done. I just needed a few torches. Hour 49, after flattening the area, placing more torches, I thought I was a genius by making the hoppers go deep underground, so even armored zombies could die. Minutes later, I noticed Nembom is truly a genius because he also calculated the perfect height for the player to stay and mobs despawn, so I returned to the basics. Hour 50, the mob trap was working. Just after 15 minutes, we got a lot of gunpowder and essentially infinite flying rockets. Now, the sky is truly the limit, but instead of the heavens, we went to hell, trying to mine a bunch of magma blocks for a big gold farm. Thankfully, we did not die, but we were not being ourselves if we didn't shed a little stupidity. Like this moment when Victor gave me a heart attack. And this moment where I folded under zero pressure. When he opened a portal into the deep dark. Hell nah. So we made another portal and used our elytras to fly back, and let me tell you, this feels good. This gold farm will have to wait, there's no time left, and my SSD is crying for help. But we got this final shot. He could not stop emoting for some reason, but we were looking at spawn and everything we did.